That investigators working for special counsel Robert Mueller have interviewed former British intelligence officer Christopher Steele. That's according to a source close to Steele himself. Steele's the author of the now infamous dossier on President Donald Trump, a collection of raw intelligence reports that allege, among other things, that the president and his associates engaged in a, catch this, well-developed conspiracy of cooperation, close quote, with Russian intelligence during the 2016 election. It comes after the Senate Intelligence Committee yesterday said they had been unable to reach Steele, but suggested they had corroborated parts of his dossier. I'm joined right now by Ken Delaney, investigative reporter with NBC. Ken, give us the full feel on this. I think Trump won't like to hear this. He'll see that how serious Mueller is taking this, even to the point of arranging a meeting with Christopher Steele. What do we know?
I think this is really going to get under Donald Trump's skin, Chris. You're absolutely right. Because Trump and the White House have been denouncing this dossier above all other things in this Russia investigation from the beginning of his presidency. You'll recall his first news conference. He took time out to denounce this dossier. And, what most people probably remember about this are the salacious sexual allegations about Trump that he absolutely denies. But as you just said, there's much more in this document. This document lays out a roadmap for what it says is a conspiracy of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. And much of it is unproven. I mean, for example, it says that Paul Manafort sort of coordinated between Russian intelligence and the Trump campaign. That is not proven, although Paul Manafort is under investigation. But there are some things that have been corroborated. I mean, Richard Burr, the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, said in so many words yesterday that they had been able to rebuild, as he put it, the timeline of the dossier, parts of it. They won't tell us which parts, though, because it's classified. So this is a document that investigators from both the Congress and now we know Special Counsel Robert Mueller are taking very seriously, and the White House doesn't like it.
How about Steele's credibility, Christopher Steele? Is he considered a crackpot, a fringy, or is someone who is a real serious spy?
Not in the least. My intelligence sources tell me this guy is a serious person. He was stationed in Moscow. He worked for the British Secret Intelligence Service, MI6. He's known as a Russia expert, and he has credibility. Moreover, the FBI worked with Steele in their investigation of corruption in international soccer before he began working on the Trump thing. And then the FBI was prepared to pay Steele to allow him to continue his fact-gathering on the Trump-Russia stuff. That didn't come through, but the FBI has been working with Steele all along, and now we know that Mueller had some additional questions for him.
Well, is this going to be like Mueller meets with a guy, he gives him a template, sort of a blueprint for what to check out. In other words, he can give him a guideline as to what to look for, then Mueller has the opportunity now to prove a lot of it.
Yes, I actually think that has already happened. So what this would be is probably follow-up questions. There are things that the FBI can't answer, wants to understand better where Steele got it, how, what's the timeline around a particular meeting, and that's probably the kind of thing they're asking him now. Because don't forget, they've had the Steele information since last July, some of it. So it forms the basis of the FBI's investigation in many ways.
Ken, do you ever wonder what's in Bob Mueller's attaché case? That is a heavy, heavy bag. And he walks around with it like it unbalances him. I keep thinking, what has he got in that bag that Trump wanted? Look at him. There he is. He carries it like it's got something heavy in there. And I just wonder if I were Trump, I'd be scared to death of that case. This is a serious guy.
Look, this is a Marine combat veteran. I don't know that he's the kind of guy to write books, but if he ever does a book deal someday when this is all over, I'll be first in line to buy it.
He looks like a pro to me. Thank you, NBC's Ken Delaney. And up next, more on our